Hello, and welcome to the Finding Wisdom show. Today, we're going to be talking about the effects of alcoholism on family members. Do you or someone else you know someone who is affected by alcoholism? Alcohol affects many people in one way or another. Today, we're going to speak with people who have been affected directly with alcoholism in one way or another. I'd like to introduce you to my first guest, Karen. She's the guidance counselor. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
How are you?
Fine.
And I also have acupuncturist P. Ramratan. Thank you so much for being here. And we also have our third guest, which is Arlene Alcindor. She's a collection specialist.
Hello, you can't reach me, but hi, how are you today?
Thank you so much for coming. Okay, how is everybody today?
Good.
Good.
Just fine.
My first question is, what is alcoholism to you, Karen? How would
Okay.
you describe alcoholism?
To me, alcoholism is where a person is drinking. It's beyond their control, even though they may not be conscious that it's beyond their control.
Okay, and Mr. Ramratan,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say alcoholism is? If you can give us
Alcoholism is a
little more
disease.
detail.
You know, it's a serious problem. If you take the statistics in America alone, there's about 17 million alcoholics in America. It's a phenomenal problem. And of course, it affects not only particular nations or races, but it cuts across all genders, races, and of course, cultures as well. So it's a universal problem. It's not only restricted to people in America or people you know, but it's all over the world. Some countries more than others.
That's very true. Arlene Alcindor, how about you? What do you think would be a good definition for what alcoholism
Well,
is?
like he said, it's a disease, and it's a very serious disease that people are not facing with, especially because a lot of people are making money off this type of disease. So they're not bringing it forth to let people know that this disease kills a lot every year. And because they're making so much money, you know, like the rappers and on TV, everybody's promoting it, and nobody's saying anything. How many kids have been killed by alcohol getting in their cars or driving? Or what effect does it have on that family? You know, because alcohol has a great effect on family, and it alters the mind too, and people not talking about that. Because, you know, I grew up with an alcoholic, and my father was an alcoholic, and this man, let me tell you, 1 minute, he's quiet as a mouse, but let him get alcohol in him, boy, you see the devil himself step out. You be like, what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just alters. Everybody cannot handle alcohol. And, you know, people don't even talk about it. You know, it's like a hush-hush thing, and it's also a social thing. You know, you have like parties and stuff, everybody has it because everybody want to be social. But I don't think that being social have anything to do with alcohol. Our society says it does.
Okay. What do you think? He mentioned it before. What do you think about alcoholism? How do you feel? Is it a sickness? Is it a disease? Is it something that we just can't cure? I mean, what is your thoughts on that? Because it's very hard to describe an alcoholic. What would you say is an alcoholic? Is it a disease like cancer?
It's a disease. It's a sickness too because it affects everybody so different. You understand what I'm saying? It could affect somebody's mind, you know, change their mind. Well, 1 minute they, you know, once they're sober, they know everything that's going on. But once they started drinking, they can't even remember for what they did 2 days ago. You know how dangerous that is? Getting on the train and even falling asleep on the train, and then you wake up, you somewhere, or you don't even remember how you got there. That is a very dangerous thing to happen to somebody. And that's what I'm saying, that because people are not talking about it, and the industry is making so much money off alcoholism, and they won't bring it to the front table and say, well, this is a disease. we have to do something about it. You know, until they do that, it's nothing going to be done about it.
Basically, it's an old disease.
Yes.
It's as old as man.
Yes.
Alcoholism started when man first drank from the fermented pool under a fruit tree.
Yes.
He got thirsty, drank the water, got stoned, went back for more. So it's an old problem. It's a very, very old problem. It's not going to go away, and it wouldn't go away. It's a chronic condition as well. You can treat it, but you can't cure it.
Right.
Understand this. You cannot cure alcoholism. You may go to a clinic and they may have statistics showing that we have 100% cure, quote unquote cure, because you can't cure it. They put 100% cure, but with time that graph slowly goes down. We're back to square one because alcohol is readily available in any country.
Yes.
You walk a couple of blocks in New York and you find a bar, or you go to a friend's house and almost always alcohol is offered. So it's very, very difficult for the person who has an affinity for alcohol to give it up. It's very, very difficult.
Yes.
So, and also, if you look at the statistics closely, you'll find that alcohol is a far greater problem than substance abuse. 17 million, I quoted, known. There's an equal amount unknown.
Yes.
Because if you have affluence, you have money, you have a car, you can drive to the supermarket, fill the trunk up, and go home. The only time people will know that you're an alcoholic is if friends seek out help for you, or you have an accident on the road and you're pulled into the emergency department, where your alcohol will be cut off and you will develop signs of withdrawal. I'll come back to that point. I'll let some other guests
I'd like to
continue.
hear what you have to say on that.
I was just thinking that as a counselor, I see students, and just the other day I had a student who was an 8th grader, and her father had a DWI and was put in jail for 2 years.
Wow.
And as a result, her uncle stepped in and took his place and helped her to do things and took her places. And unfortunately now her uncle has cancer and he's dying. And her father's out of jail. And the father, which is the brother, has started drinking again. So for 2 years he was dry because there was no alcohol available, or because he didn't partake of it in the jail. And now she's worried about that, not just the uncle that's dying, but she's very worried that her father has begun drinking again.